Hey bass players, we're looking at your two most important scales, arguably, for bass guitar, your major scale and your minor scale. Now we could play them across all the strings, but I'm going to keep it in one octave and I'll explain through why octave as we go through the video. Now the reason why I want to know this is twofold. You want to know your major scale because it's a very important scale. You build a lot of chords from it. We'll get into that later. And it also helps your finger accuracy to make sure you're striking your notes nice and clear. And it's also a nice disciplined technique to get your left and right hand working well together, especially when you're new to bass. Now my fingers are numbered. You can see them nice and clear there. Pinky's number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And your major scale, I'm going to start with C major, should sound something like this. Fret number 8, this note is C, and it should sound at speed. And slow motion, I want to take us through it now so you can learn it with me. C, fret 8, D, fret 10, onto the 3rd string, E, fret 7, F, G, frets 8 and 10, onto the next string, A at fret 7, B at fret 9, and the octave, which is C at fret 10. So one more time slowly. I'm going to count us in so you can play through with me. 2, 3, 4. And then I want to descend it, go backwards, go down the scale, which means you're starting on the pinky now, 10, 9, 7, 10, 8, 7, 10, 8. And then once you've got that, you want to play it up and down. Now make sure all your notes are clear. Make sure you're not playing too close to the fret. You can hear there's a bit of a buzz there. Make sure you don't want this buzz, nice and clear. Make sure you are using your pinky, so please none of this. Don't want to jump. Remember, pinky is 25% of your fingers in front of you, so you want to get that pinky working. Okay, now once you can do this, try doing the reverse. And when I say the reverse is start on the high octave and then work back to it. So the first time went from low to high and back, low to the high and back. Then he went from the high to the low and back. So from the high to the low and then back to the high. So you get to practice ascending, descending, followed by descending, ascending. That's your major scale. Learn it, know it. Okay. I'll also be sending a PDF with a diagram showing the scales as well, so you can please get it going. Next up, the minor scale. I'm also going to play it from C for no other reason that you can hear the tonal difference, the actual what separates the major from the minor scale. And this has got a sort of a more sadder sort of sound, a darker sound if you want to call it that. And it's going to sound like this. And this is the natural minor because we get a harmonic minor. And you also get a melodic minor, which is going to go like this. And you're going to jump into all that other notes as well. I think I played a wrong note there, but I'm not teaching you that scale anyway. Okay, so let's do that natural minor together. Slow motion. Fret 8, fret 10, fret 11. Onto the next string, 8, 10, 11. And the last two, 8 and 10. So with me on the count of 4, 2, 3, 4. And then descending, 2, 3, 4. Now notice over here for the time being I'm only playing with one finger because I'm not really playing that fast. So the focus isn't over here on our picking hand. We'll sit and do videos on techniques for that later. Right now I want us to focus to get to know the scale shapes. So I don't mind if you're still new to the bass and you want to use one finger for starters. Remember also to reverse it and then ascend as well. So each your major and minor you're going to learn to play up and down then down and up. Okay, talking pitch. For those that want to get more specific with the control of the picking hand, I'm going to focus on the picking hand now. So I'm going to change camera direction. Now once you know your scale, I want you to alternate your picking strokes like this. You can see fingers 1 and 2 are walking over there. Now if I do it slowly, and you're using finger 1, finger 2, finger 1, finger 2, finger 1, finger 2, finger 1, finger 2. It's difficult saying that and playing that. Okay, but you got the idea. If you started with the first finger, you're onto the second finger, onto the first finger, onto the second finger, and we get that walk, which is a very important technique to get under control for when you want to get speed later. So when you're learning the scales, I don't mind if it's just one finger, but once you know it, to get your picking hands technique a lot more accurate, please try the alternating strokes too. And then the minor scale. And I'm hoping you can also hear the tonal difference, in other words, the sound that creates major. That note, the minor sound. You hear the difference there? Let's zoom out and show you that. Still playing from C. What's the third note? First, second, third note for the major. And then the third note for the minor, first, second, third. They call this the flattened third, which gives it the deeper minor sound. So 1, 2, 3, it's nice and happy and positive. For the minor, it's unhappy, negative, got more of a deeper sort of darker sound to it. But don't want to go too much into theory, we're learning shapes. Now, when you know those two shapes, you can effectively play in any key. But there is a catch to it. You need to know all the notes on the fretboard. So we're going to zoom out. And here comes a quick crash course in where to find your notes. So if you want to get a pen and paper out, draw a guitar neck, bass guitar neck, 4 strings please for the 5-string players, and get to know your string names: E string, A string, D string, G string. And your notes: E on the E string, 4th string, F is at fret 1, G is at fret 3, A is at fret 5, B is at fret 7, C is at fret 8, and between those, the 2, 4, and 6 we didn't cover. 2 is F sharp. You've taken F and you've raised the pitch, so you've sharpened it, F sharp. G has become G flat. Now I'm not going to go through everything there. The purpose of it is to prove that you can play all the major scales. You do have the PDF file that shows you where all the notes are. If you don't have it, drop me a WhatsApp and I will send you the PDF, or just message me. Okay, now we've learned C major. Let's say, for example, now I want to play G major. So all I do is I find G. I should know that G is at fret number 3, and I play the same thing. So I haven't changed my sequence of my fingers, and my finger sequence is exactly the same. All I've done is changed my position, so where I played it from. If I needed an A major, I'd go to A, fret 5, and I'd play the same sequence again. So I was trying to get my other finger into focus over there so you can see this at the corner, and I lost my notes. Sorry, let's do it again. If I need to have a D major, I'd go to here. Now if I didn't want to play from fret 10 from D here, you'll notice on your PDF file that you can also find D here, which is fret 5 on the 3rd string. That's D as well. D, you can hear it's the same note. And now you play the same scale, same sequence of fingers, same sequence of notes, same sequence of intervals, and intervals is the key, but that's again for a video for another day, more in theory. And use your D major scale. And you can hear it's the same. D major. You can hear it's got repetition happening there. Now, for the minor scales, same scenario. And in C minor, if I want to play C minor on the A string from fret 3, you can see my nut at the top, and you can do it from here. So the lesson to be learned over here, there's actually going to be a few, but first of all, the first lesson is to learn your major scale, learn your minor scale. The second lesson is to know that your major shapes can be played anywhere. So it's one shape that can give you G major, A major, B flat major, C sharp major, but the major shape is this. wherever I play it from becomes that major. So if I'm playing it from fret number 6, for example, on the third string, I'd have E flat major. So I'm not learning a different scale shape for each key. It's the same scale shape. I hope you got that. And same can be said for the minor. Wherever I play the minor scale from, so for example from fret 4 on the 4th string, that becomes that minor. And this note is G sharp or A flat. So this is G sharp or A flat minor. And your next lesson is you have to know where are all the notes on the bass guitar. So you need to know E, F, G, A as on your PDF file. You need to know all the notes on your A string, A, B, C, D, E, F. You have to know those as well. And once you know those two strings well, the next step is Octaves will tell you where all the notes are on that string and that string. And that's really, really easy because whatever note this is, if I go 2 strings down, 1, 2, and 2 frets towards the body, 1, 2, that's the same note. You can see it again. 1, 2 down, 1, 2 across. Sorry, there we go. And that's called octaves. So if this is G, that's G. If this is A, 1, 2 down, 1, 2 across, A, A. So that makes life a lot easier. If I work from the 3rd string, C, C, and again 1, 2 down, 1, 2 across. So that 2 down, 2 across pattern will enable you to know all the notes on your bass guitar, assuming you know this string and that string. So if you know those two first, that's priority number 1. Know the names of the strings, whatever note you call out. Call it a D, 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 call it a E, 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 F sharp. You need to know where those notes are. And then if you know your shapes, major shape. Yes, I'm playing it a lot. I want your ear to get used to it. Your minor shape. Your ear must recognize the minor sound and the major sound as well. So there's a whole lot of things over here. It might seem like 2 scales, but you get to know all your guitar notes on your neck. You need to get to hear your ear being able to differentiate between major and minor. And you're getting finger accuracy and you're working your pinky. So a lot of plus signs, a lot of important reasons why these techniques are important. Folks, I hope this helps. Have an awesome week. Take care and enjoy.